Good day. This is Visual Lesson 1.4 about the topic Direct Variation. The learning competency is the learner solves problems involving variations. In solving word problems in direct variations, we should follow these procedures. Number 1, understand the problem. Read the problem carefully to identify what quantities are varying directly and determine what you need to find. Number 2, identify the variables. Assign variables to the quantities involved. Typically, the assigned variable follows the first letter of the quantities except for the variable k. It is a variable used for constant. Create a table to place the quantities because this will help you determine what needs to be found. Number 3, set up the direct variation equation. Determine which quantities in the problem are varying directly. Number 4, determine the constant of variation. Use the information provided in the problem to find the value of k. Typically, you will be given a pair of values for the two variables that satisfy the direct variation relationship. Then substitute these values into the mathematical equation and solve for k. Number 5, write the equation of variation. Once you have determined the value of k, substitute it back into the direct variation equation. This gives you specific equation of variation for the problem. Number 6, solve for the unknown. Substitute the given values into the specific equation of variation to find the unknown quantity. Then solve for the desired variables. Always check your final answer. Verify your solutions by plugging it back original equation to ensure that it satisfies the direct variation relationship. So let's have illustrative example number 1. A newspaper boy earns 560 in 2 weeks. How much does he earn in 5 weeks? So these are the two quantities, earnings and number of weeks. So ayon sa problem, ang una niyang earning ay 560 in 2 weeks. Sumunod na binigay ay 5 weeks na lang. So, wala nang sumunod sa earnings kasi siya yung ating i-identify. So, this is required to do. You assign the variable for the quantities. So, let E be equal to earnings, W be equal to number of weeks, and K be equal to the constant. You also create a table that will place the quantities. Let's have E and W. Let's identify kung ano ba yung kailangan nating hanapin. Ang sabi dito, sa problem, how much does he earn? So, ang tinatanong yung earnings niya in 5 weeks. So, therefore, ito yung ating unknown. Pagkatapos, ay ilagay natin yung mga nakuha natin sa given kanina dito sa ating table. So, ang ating earnings ay 560. Ang ating weeks, una ay 2, then 5. Now, dahil nakumpleto na natin yung table, pwede natin gawin yung step 1. Formulate variation statement. Since this is direct variation, we have now E equals to KW. Remember, E is the dependent variable and W is the independent variable. Why? Kasi nakadepende yung earning na magkukuha ng newspaper boy sa number of weeks na itatrabaho niya. So, solve for the constant of variation, we will use this kasi ito yung kumpleto ang assigned values. So, let's just substitute. We have 560 equals to k times 2. Then, let's divide both sides by 2. We have k is equals to 280. Then, let's write the equation of variation. We have E is equals to 280 W. Now, let's solve for the unknown. The unknown is E. So, we have E is equals to 280 times 5, and that is 1,400. Therefore, the amount the newspaper boy will earn in 5 weeks is 1,400 pesos. Next example. The volume of water a hose delivers varies directly with the time it runs. If a hose delivers 80 gallons of water in 10 minutes, how much water will it deliver in 25 minutes? So let's identify first what are the two quantities that varies directly, and that is the volume and time. So by given, let's identify the volume and time in the given problem. The first one, we have 80 gallons of water in 10 minutes. The next, we have 25 minutes. Then, the required, we need to assign variable doon sa ating mga quantities. So, let capital V be equal to volume of water, T be equal to time it runs, and K be equal to constant. Then, create tayo ng table. Nandito yung V since the volume of water is the dependent variable and T is the independent variable. Ngayon, tingnan muna natin kung ano yung unknown. Ang tanong sa problem, how much water will it deliver in 25 minutes? So, ang tinatanong niya dito ay yung gallons of water. So, that is the volume. Ngayon, ilagay din natin sa table to yung mga nakuha natin sa given. So, we have 80, we have 10, and 25. We can now formulate variation statement since this is varies directly. So, that is V equals KT. Then, finding the constant of variation, we will use this one kasi siya yung complete ang assigned values ng variable. So, by substitution, we have 80 equals to K over 10 divided by 10 both sides of the equation. And 80 divided by 10 is 8. So, therefore, the constant of variation is 8. So, the equation of variation is V equals to 8T. Then, let's solve for the unknown. Ano nga ba yung unknown? Yung volume of water. So, yung V. So, V is equals to 8. Then, substitute the value of T which is 25. Itong nasa pangalawang column. Ito siya. So, we have 200. Therefore, the hose will deliver 200 gallons of water in 25 minutes. Next, illustrative example number 3. The cost of pizza varies directly as the square of its diameter. If the diameter of a pizza is 10 inches, it costs 180 pesos. What is the diameter of a pizza if it costs 405 pesos? So the two quantities in this problem is the cost of pizza and the diameter. So let's take note of the givens. So we have 10 inches pizza and it costs 180 pesos. And we have 405 pesos. And it is required to assign variables to the quantities. So let C be the cost of pizza, D be the diameter, and K be the constant. Then create a table. C is the dependent variable kasi nakadepende yung presyo niya sa laki ng diameter ng pizza. Now, ang unknown ay diameter ng pizza. So ilagay natin yung mga nakuha natin dito sa given sa table of values. So, we have 180, 405, and we have 10 inches. Now, let's formulate variation of statement. Since varies directly as the square of its diameter, take note of the square of its diameter. So, we have C equals KD squared. Then, solve for the constant of variation. Ito yung gagamitin natin kasi kumpleto yung assigned values sa ating dalawang variable. By substitution, we have 180 equals K 10 squared, and 10 squared is 100. Then divide both sides by 100. 180 divided by 100 ay hindi exact. So, i-cancel na natin yung dalawang 0 dito. We have now 18 over 10, which is divisible by 2. So, the answer is 9 over 5. And the equation of variation is C equals 9 over 5 D squared. Now, solve for the unknown. Using the equation of variation, let's identify the diameter if the price is 405. So, we have 405 equals 9 over 5 D squared. Then, let's multiply 405 by 5 and 9 times D squared. So, we have 2025 equals 9D squared. Let's divide both sides of equation by 9. So, cancel out ng 9 dito. Then, 2025 divided by 9 is equals to 225. So, take note, meron tayong square dito. Ano nga ba ang kailangan natin gamitin dito to eliminate the square? We need to use the square root property, squaring both sides of the equation. Then, square root of d squared, cancel out yan. D na lang ang matitira. And the square root of 225 is positive negative 15. But you take note that there are no negative measurement, so we will use the positive one, which is 15. Therefore, the diameter of pizza, which is 15 inches, cost 405 pesos. Let's have illustrative example number 4. The area of a square varies directly with the square of its side. If a square with a side length of 4 cm has an area of 16 square centimeter, what will be the area of a square with a side length of 7 centimeter? So let's identify the two quantities. So that is the area of a square and the side length of a square. So given, kunin natin yung mga binigay na quantities. So ang side length daw ay 4 cm at ang area is 16 square centimeters. And then the next one, 7 cm lang, that is the side length. Then the unknown is the area of a square. So let's denote the area of a square by A, side length by S, constant by K. Then create a table. A is the dependent variable and S is the independent variables. At ang unknown nga ay yung area, so we will put the question mark here. At ilalagay natin sa table yung mga values na ito na nakuha natin sa given. So, 4, 7, and 16. Now, let's formulate the variation statement. Since it varies directly, and take note with the square of the side length, so we have A equals KS squared. Then solve for the constant, we will use this one. We have 16 equals K4 squared. 4 squared is 16. Then divide both sides by 16. And 16 divided by 16 is 1. So the equation of variation is A equals S squared. Bakit wala ulit yung 1 dito? Kasi automatic yan na ang 1 ay invisible at kapag walang number dyan, that is 1. Now, let's solve for the unknown. Ang unknown nga ay yung area of a square. So, let's substitute the value of the side length. So, we have A equals 1 times 7 squared. So, nilagay ko na dito yung ating constant. So, we have A equals 1 times 49 and that is 49. So, therefore, the area of a square with side length of 7 cm is 49 square centimeter. Is it clear? Thank you for watching this video lesson. I hope you understand well our lesson about direct variation.